Hi, everyone, and welcome to Boss Chronicles Unpacking Leadership Literature. My name is Delisa Abraham, Faith in Sparkle's World. And if you are new to this channel, don't forget to hit that like button and also subscribe. I am excited for us to start this new series where I will be exploring and sharing with you insight from leadership literature. It's been said many times, why would we need to discuss this book? Well, one, readers are leaders. And if you are on this channel, if you are listening to this, then clearly, one, you are a leader. Two, you are a reader, as well as you enjoy written content. You want to know this information as well as start to apply it in your life. Now, I enjoy reading books. I enjoy learning new things. I also not only read the book for knowledge, but I also use it in my daily life. So the literature that I'm going to be sharing with you on a weekly basis really are books that I've used, I've implemented in my teams, within myself, in my home, and I've seen that it has worked for me. I've seen it worked for clients, and now I want it to work for you as you start really embracing leadership literature. So our first book is Blue Ocean Leadership. It's right here. Blue Ocean Leadership. There might be a picture that will pop up. But if you are familiar with Blue Ocean, the book, right, the Blue Ocean strategy, then this is all the rage that everyone is talking about, that is not only popular, but also most effective. So it gets you out of that red ocean, out of the competitiveness, and into that space of creativity and innovation. Now, the authors of Blue Ocean Leadership, W. Chan Kim and Renée Mauborgne, forgive me if I mispronounce her last name, they have this book, The Blue Ocean Leadership, and it's with the Harvard Business Review. It's a classic. It is a mini book, but it is also very mighty. And the reason why I'm starting off this series, this weekly series with Blue Ocean Leadership is because, one, it's a small book, but also because it is informative. It is taking us out of the old way of thinking about leadership and how to lead our teams. And it's breaking it down into these bite-sized pieces so that we can be more innovative in our leadership styles, as well as effective, because you need to be effective as a leader, right? So that your business can grow. It's showing you in this book the different levels on there, the different levels of leadership, like the frontline workers, right? The mid leaders, as well as your executives. Many people only focus on leadership for C-suite individuals. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. However, there are other people in leadership position within your business right now who needs this leadership training. Now, the same type of leadership support that the executive would need will vastly differ from the leader, the manager that is leading the frontline team. And this book, this start, really gives you the clarity that you need as a leader, regardless of whichever position that you're in, to help you best support not only what you're doing to be more effective, but also your team as a whole. So everyone is working as a unit. Everyone is aligned. It's a more harmonious flow. And that is the impact that you want to have. Blue Ocean Leadership really is a catalyst for change. It focuses on leadership behavior that inspire, it empowers team members to think innovatively and to drive organizational growth. Why is this important? Why do we want our team members to think innovatively and to drive growth? Well, because if they're not doing it, if we're not innovative, guess what? Somebody else is innovative. The clients are going to go to the people that are giving them what they need. If you're not growing, you are stagnant. You are stuck. You're in that one place. Customers will go somewhere else. Your clients will go somewhere else. If your team members do not feel part of the team, if they're not connected with the leader, whichever position the leader is in, depending on their area of work, then they're just showing up for the sake of showing up. They're showing up for a paycheck. And when that doesn't work anymore, then guess what? The business fails. So your leaders that is in your business directly affects and impacts your bottom line, your finances. It directly impacts it. A lot of people come to me and say, I don't need leadership. I don't need leadership training. I don't need leadership support. I'm good. I have over 30 years experience doing X, Y, and Z. That's all well and good that you have all of that experience, but what about the people that are in your team? What about the people who you need to help you to grow, to scale, wherever you are in business, wherever you are in industry? And so this is what this book does, this Blue Ocean Leadership book does. It gets you thinking as well. Now with Blue Ocean Leadership, it not only offers a fresh perspective on leadership that challenges traditional norms, but it also encourages leaders to, I'm just checking my notes on this side here. It also encourages leaders to chart new paths of success, leading to increased innovation and organizational growth. It encourages leaders to forge new paths of success. This is where the innovation comes in. What the executive person in leadership position knows, the person that's working on frontline don't necessarily need to know, but they all work harmonious together, because what the frontline manager knows, that person that you've placed in that leadership position, they know who the customer is. They know what the customer wants. They understand the needs of the customer. They know who are the repeats that are coming in. Now, yes, the mid-management team and the executive team, they'll have the data and the results. But it is the frontline workers who has that direct connection with clients that can help the business as a whole. It helps the marketing team. It helps the sales team. It helps all the other teams working together, and the leaders in the mid-management as well as the executive C-suite position leaders. So this is why it is important. And this is how the book really spotlights and sheds light on the different levels of leadership, and is showing you how you can get a fresh perspective, how it's challenging the norm, so that leaders are encouraged. They are encouraged to forge new paths for success. They can lead increased innovation. We need innovation. We need creativity in our business. We need those type of thinkers. We don't need robots. They're already being created. They're already designed. They're being optimized right now. We want the creativity of people. We need our leaders in the various areas to effectively lead the people and build human connection. Human connection is key. Yes, it might seem like it's on trend, but it is the key. Without human connection, if you can't connect with others, how would you get others to follow you? How will your client be able to work with you? How would they know what it is that you need? Or how can you actually solve their pain if you don't have that human connection? Remember, if you're not doing it, somebody else is. Someone will give them what they need. And the other person that's giving them what they need may not even have the best solution. Maybe your solution is the best solution. And so this is where the leaders in your front, middle, and executive team need to know how to lead. They need to know the different styles, the specific kind of leadership that is needed for their position. And so this is why the book Blue Ocean Leadership is an essential for you. Now, you will see me going back and forth because I have my laptop over here and I'm also talking to you in the camera. So sometimes I'm checking notes. I have to, it helps me to stay on track as you know as I share this information with you. Now let's go to page 6 and 7 of the book. I'm going to read directly from there just so you can get a bit. It says here, Blue Ocean Leadership, by contrast, focuses on what acts and activities leaders need to undertake to boost their team's motivation and business results, not on who leaders need to be. So Blue Ocean Leadership focuses on the acts and activities that leaders need to undertake, that leaders need to implement to boost the team's motivation and essentially the results. It is not about the leader. It is not who leaders need to be, right? So it's not about them. It's about the team. This difference in emphasis is important. Activities are something that an individual can change given the right feedback and guidance. Why is this important? Because it's showing you that real leadership is about the people. It's about the people. That human connection that I mentioned earlier, it's about the people. It is not about you. It's about those pain points that you are solving. Think about that for a moment. Reflect on that. It would deeply support your growth in your industry as a leader, with your teams. Now, the book really talks about the different types of leadership and how it's distributed, and that's found on pages 8 and 9. And it just lets you know about the top, middle, and the front line leaders. And in the book, when it goes through the specific words, they're really sharing with you the value each type of leader, wherever their position is, why that is important, why that is necessary, as well as the book shares with you what type of specific training these leaders need. Very compact, very quick, easy read, but it is insightful and it has tons of information that you can start extracting and using in your life, in your business, and with your team, depending on the size of your business. I'll share here on page page 8 and 9, it says here, most leadership programs focus on executives and their potential for impact now and in the future. But the key to a successful organization is having empowered leaders at every level. That's where you get the front line, the mid, and the executive. Because outstanding organizational performance often comes down to the motivation and actions of middle and front line leaders. Highlight that piece, right? I'll repeat it again. And this is found on page 9 of the book. It says, outstanding organizational performance often comes down to the motivation and actions of middle and front line leaders who are in close contact with the market. Earlier, I shared with you the different levels of leadership, how they all need to be integrated, how everyone is operating slightly different, but it is the front line people, and here it says both frontline and middle leadership people, individuals and their teams. They're the one in closest contact with the market. They're the ones who are hearing from your customers, your clients. They're the ones, especially if you're selling these products. You have a service, who are the people that you have strategically in place so you can get the accurate feedback so that you're solving the pain points, that you have the right solutions for the people in your target audience. Okay. It goes on to say, Blue Ocean leadership is designed to be applied across the 3 distinct management levels, top, middle, and frontline. It calls for profiles for leaders that are tailored to the very different tasks, degrees of power, and environments you find at each level. So it is Blue Ocean leadership is designed to be applied across the 3 distinct management levels, frontline, middle, top. It calls for the profiles of the leaders to be tailored to the different tasks, because different leaders in different areas has to perform different tasks. Their degrees of power, that's important, right? How much responsibility do they have? And the environments that you find each individual at each level, because the environment for the frontline worker is very different for the environment of the executive. 2 very different areas, 2 very different styles that needs to be implemented in their leadership, because what they are encountering is different from each other. So you need to be able to train your people accordingly. I'll continue on. Now it's on page 10, which says, extending leadership capabilities deep into the front line unleashes the latent talent and drive of a critical mass of employees, and creating strong distributed leadership significantly enhances performance across the organization. It comes down to who? The people. Train your leaders accordingly based on where they are in your organization, so that you can get the innovation and the growth and the scale that you need, and your people are working in harmony with you. They are aligned and they are contributing their creativity, their innovation to make the business a success, so that when you are solving people's problems, you are hitting on the pain points that your clients have, you can provide the best solution. We see this in business all the time. We see it in business all the time. You got to keep up. Give an example with McDonald's. Their specialty is burgers. Everybody knows it's burgers. But then a couple of decades ago, people wanted to eat healthier. Remember, there was a documentary that went out about eating McDonald's every day, right? That was a little scary for people. Some people don't like McDonald's for whatever reason. But what did they do? Burgers are still their main item because that's what they were built on. That's their foundation. But then they started to shift. Why? Because they were listening to the people. They're listening to their frontline people who are saying, our customers want a salad with their burger instead of a fries. They want the salad. The frontline leaders are there contributing. This is what the people want. The mid-level leadership team, they're saying, okay, this is what the people want. And so now the executives, they're hearing what the frontline leadership team and the mid leadership team is saying. And then they start saying, okay, this is what the people want. We're seeing our competitors. That's what they're also providing, and people are going there because now, are they losing profits because somebody wants a salad instead of a fries? Maybe somebody wants a wrap instead of a burger. So now they're listening to their leadership team, and then they start implementing it as well. So you see how you're working harmoniously? You see now how your frontline people are essential? Your frontline leaders, your mid-level leaders, how necessary they are because they are the closest one to the market space. They're getting the feedback. And when all these different pilot programs go out or beta testing that's happening, they're getting the direct response from the people. They're hearing what the people are saying. Oh, I like this. It looks good. Tastes good. Right? Now, there are 4 steps to blue level leadership. I'll just bring my laptop over so that it is easier for me to keep looking right at you. Okay, so there are 4 types of blue ocean leadership. The first one is you need to see the leadership reality. Second one, develop an alternate leadership profile. And the third is to be a leader. And then the fourth, institutionalize new leadership profile. So you will get the 4 steps of this. This is more like the bread and butter of the book, around page 25, 24, 25. It goes through, actually it starts on page 10, but then it continues on page 32. So it talks about the 4 steps of blue ocean leadership. And this is important because as you read the book and you get more of that information, they're actually, the authors are outlining the steps that you need to take. It's like creating that back end system. So this is the system that you would need. For the 4 steps of blue ocean. The 4 steps of blue ocean leadership essentially is the system that you're going to implement for your leaders at different levels. And then on page 32, that is the execution phase. So now they're telling you how to execute all 4 parts, all 4 steps, so that you can be most effective. And that execution is pages 32, 33, all the way up to 38. And that is really the essence of the book. The last piece, becoming a blue ocean leader. Now, this book has resources in the back of it, and it shares a grid. I don't know if you guys can see that there, right? It has a grid. And then it really outlines what each manager does. So here it says, what middle management do. Oh, sorry about that, right? The leadership canvas, and so on. So I'll take some pictures and I will share that, so you'll probably start seeing it popping up on the screen as well. And the reason why it's important that they outline and they show these graphs is because when you do that, it helps you, especially if you're, reading this yourself and you're not necessarily going through a program, but you want to enhance your leadership skills. What this does is shares with you, oh, this is my position. This is where I am in my leadership piece, right? This is the area that best pertains to me. What do I need to focus on? Because when you know what you need to focus on as a leader, whether it's as a frontline, mid, or executive leader, top, then your work becomes easier and you become most effective. Now you're not worried about, if you're an executive, what the frontline leaders are doing. I mean, unless it's a complete mess and you have to do an overhaul of leadership anyways. But essentially, if you're in the executive leadership position, your frontline team needs to be prepared and equipped. You don't need to be going in and doing the work of a frontline person because you just don't have the time, and that's just inefficient and ineffective. Same thing if you're in a mid management leadership position. That's one of those things where you're in between. So you're not completely frontline, but you have that access to the frontline. You still know what's going on, while at the same time, you're not quite executive, but you're also working your way to that executive leadership position. Well, not everybody wants to do the executive leadership position. They actually prefer to be in that mid-level leadership piece, but you're in between. I will share with you, when I was in the military, it was easier when I first came in as a private, right? I don't know anything. Frontline worker, I was being trained, I was doing that. But then when I got my master's, now I have a bit more responsibility. And I had to learn that there are things that I didn't need to do, but privates need to do. But I'm still working with them. Like, I still have a team and I'm still leading them, right? I was like that front line leader in that leadership position. So I had to learn how to balance that. I had to learn. And then at the same time, I'm still being trained. And I was still doing my own training and my own schooling outside of the military. So I can be better. And I can do better. And I can be most effective. And when I became a sergeant, then of course my role now starts shifting, right? So I started off with that front line as a master's, and then as a sergeant, more as like that middle management piece. And then of course you go up to like warrant and chiefs and all of those other things. Like, there's different levels in the military. So that was my example of, as a non-commissioned officer in the military, and as I'm rising through the ranks, and how this applies to Blue Ocean leadership, and how this actually supported my growth as a leader. Now I take the same work and teachings and I have to apply it to my business. I have to apply it to my business. And I have to ask the questions. And I have to recognize and trust that the people that are doing certain things for me, they're doing the work. Yes, but they are also equipped. They're qualified to do the work. Right? So becoming a Blue Ocean leader, it says here on page 39. Actually, you know what? I'll go on page 40 because that's the last piece, and then we'll wrap up. Moreover, blue ocean leadership achieves a transformation with less time and effort because leaders are not trying to alter who they are and break the habits of a timeline. They are simply changing the tasks they carry out. Better yet, one of the strengths of blue ocean leadership is its scalability. You don't have to wait for your company's top leadership to launch this process, right? So I really like that piece. This is the ending. That's on page 40 before they get into the appendix piece where they're outlining it. But this last piece, and I'll read it again, it says, blue ocean leadership achieves a transformation with less time and effort because leaders are not trying to alter who they are and break the habits of a lifetime. They are simply changing the tasks they carry out. And that's important because if you're a frontline leader, you shouldn't be doing the work of an executive leader. It's completely different. You're focused on what you're doing so you can be most effective where you are. I want to thank you so much for joining me today. I really enjoyed reading this book. Let me know in the comment if you have read Blue Ocean Leadership, how you like it, and give me some feedback, some insights. I want to hear from you. Also, don't forget to like, share, subscribe to the channel, share this with a friend, save it for later so that I know that you enjoy Boss Chronicles, Unpacking Leadership Literature. Have an amazing week, and next week, I hope you will join me for our next book.